Hi everybody, I'm Ethan Hardy. I hope you're as excited as I am for what's coming up on TKD StarCast. For episode 5, we'll be chatting with Pauline Lopez. She's a minus 57 kilogram fighter, highest rank achieved, world number 16, 10-time Philippines national team member, Asian Games champion and medalist, SEA Games champion, and multiple-time International Open champion and medalist. Pauline, thanks so much for being on StarCast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. How are you, Ethan?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just finished my first session of my training camp.
Cool.
A little tired, but still pushing through.
Yeah. This is really awesome, especially because you're Filipino and I'm part Filipino too.
I know. It's so exciting.
What's your favorite Filipino dish?
My favorite comfort food, Filipino comfort food, I always say this. It's called kare-kare. It's a peanut butter-based dish. It's very simple because it has a lot of calories and you cannot eat that before fighting. But it's definitely something I always look for, especially when I see my parents.
Nice. How about your favorite Filipino dessert?
Ooh, that would have to be halo halo. I'm sure you had that before.
Actually,
It has ice cream and everything.
nice. Yeah, I really like leche plan.
Oh yeah. No, that's really good. It's so sweet.
Yeah. What made you start Taekwondo?
What made me start Taekwondo is I really like how when I didn't know Taekwondo yet, when I was watching all these fighters, they were kicking and shouting, and I didn't know what they were doing. But my dad said, "No, don't do that. It's a guy's sport." I said, "No, I want to do it. I want to show how strong I am." And then ever since, it just became my sport.
Cool.
Thank you.
So like me, you're from Los Angeles, right?
Yes, I grew up there. Although yes, I was born there, but right after I went back to the Philippines, lived there for about 7 years, and then I moved back to LA.
Cool.
So most of like my childhood, I was, grew up in LA. Yes.
You're a Filipino national team member. How did that happen?
Yeah. So I was trying to make the national team in the US before, but then I went to the Philippines just to do a training camp with my coach, and the head of the team there, or the head of the team of the Philippines, asked me to go to Korea Open with them one time, and I went with them and represented the Philippines because of my citizenship. And then they said, you know what? Try out for the team. And since 2010, I've been earning my spot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Must have been hard to keep on getting the spot over and over again for 10
Yes.
times.
I've always had to prove myself over and over. Oh, I'm sorry, if I do. But I've always had to prove myself over and over again to earn that spot, to make sure that I deserve it, and I haven't regretted anything ever since.
Yeah. How did you work up to be at your top level?
Well, I just always keep reminding me of my goals and my dreams and what I need to do to get there. It's not always gonna be a positive thing, or it's not always gonna be like wanting to keep training and stuff. You always have to find it in yourself to know your goals. Although I know you know this because I know you train also. It's not always gonna be easy. There are gonna be days where you just want to sit back and relax and stay home, but I have to just close my eyes and keep reminding myself of my goals and my dreams and what I need to do to get there. So I would always just think of the words that my dad tells me. He would always say, it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine. You have to really have that blood, sweat, and tears, that drive, that commitment, that discipline to train and to work hard, and eventually it'll show in the ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
What advice do you have for athletes who are like born in one country but want to fight for another?
Well, my advice to them first is they have to do some research, and then on top of that, they have to find someone or know who to contact and who to get involved with, so they can go to the country and try to make the spot. It's I'm not saying that it's easy, but if you have the right resources and the right guidance, you can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a household name in the Philippines, even if people don't follow Taekwondo?
Well, I'm still in shock right now. It means a lot for me because it's not just about taekwondo, it's also that you're spreading what you're doing, you're inspiring others. So it means the world to me, especially as a woman in the sport of taekwondo. Um, it goes beyond the sport. It's inspiring, and I'm still in awe and still in shock that um, these people chose me to be a household name. It means a lot. Yeah.
Who was your idol when you were a kid?
Oh my gosh. Growing up, but in the sport of taekwondo?
Like anybody,
Well,
like Harry
growing
Potter.
up, there were a bunch, but I'm trying to remember someone that stuck with me is a taekwondo fighter from the Philippines. Her name is Tony Rivero, and she's an Olympian.
Wow.
And I remember when I was about 8 years old, I watched her online and the when she competed in the Olympics, and I promised myself, I said, I will do my very best to get to where she was. And that's why until now it's my dream to earn that ticket to the Olympics. So that was my first like real like dream, to know that I wanted to go to the Olympics. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was a really great athlete. Yeah.
Is there a special person who helped you succeed?
I don't think there's one special person that helped me succeed. I think there's a bunch. It's not just um the coaches that were there for me, but also the family and friends that have supported me, especially at my lowest point when I wanted to quit and throw the towel in. It's a lot of people that would bring me back up and say, keep going, keep pushing through. You're almost there. And the one person that has always been there for me, of course, are my parents, my mom and my dad. I mean, I think you know this. I would tell you guys this when we hung out, but especially my father. He's a very tough. He was very tough on me, especially gave me tough love growing up. But I wouldn't be where I am now without that tough love. Yeah.
How do you overcome nerves?
Ooh, I'm still figuring it out. There are days when I can just like there are tournaments where I can just like let it go and just use all of that as advantage in the court. That like little jitters when you fight. It's good. But what I do when it gets to the point where I can't control it, I kind of take a step back, do a little bit of meditation, just hearing my breathing. Yeah, and then after I pray, I definitely pray and ask for help and guidance, and then use that also in the ring, whether it's positive jitters or negative jitters. At the end of the day, I have to remind myself that I'm grateful and thankful that I'm able to do what I love. So
Yeah. Do you have like a special routine before a tournament to like get prep?
yes, yes, I do. Well, the day before my tournament, I usually prepare my stuff. I'm kind of like, I want my stuff all neat and organized because it gets me in the mood, and it gets me in this you know like fighting um routine. The next day I pray, I do a meditation, I breathe, watch a little bit of fights, and when I get to the venue, that's it. It's game time. Yeah.
Are you like a little superstitious or no?
A little bit. A little bit. I wear the same bowl. I have to wear the same thing, like the same belt, the same spandex, same sports bra, same ponytail, and I have to wear a bracelet, a necklace, and oh, I have my specific like gear, and I know you know this because taekwondo athletes like are comfortable in their own gear, but
Yeah.
I always have to have the same one, and then yeah, I'm a little bit superstitious.
What is your favorite accomplishment?
I'm sorry,
What is your favorite
favorite
accomplishment? Yeah.
that
Doesn't have
would
to be.
definitely have. Well, I think for me right now, when I always go back to and close my eyes, if someone were to ask me that if it was athletic or academic or any kind of accomplishment, it would definitely have to be my 2016 Asian Championship gold medal. It was a turning point for me, mainly because it was 2 days after Olympic qualification, and I remember when I lost a ticket for the uh, yeah, for the Olympic ticket. It was heartbreaking for me. And I said to myself, this is not the end of the road. I know God has a better plan for me. And just in 2 days, He showed that. He always outdoes His generosity, and I won that gold medal. So
Wow.
in anything that I do, yeah, in anything that I do, if it's academic or athletic or anything that has to do with my career, I know that I just have to look back in that moment and think about the ways I can bounce back. And so that's why it's one of my favorite accomplishments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you handle like injuries?
Ooh, injuries are always tough because no matter how tough you are here in your head and in your heart, your body always will tell you, and you can't be stubborn, you have to take a break. So what I do when I do have injuries, one, you can't help but to be frustrated. So I have to get over that frustration and you just have to be patient. And then I have to be very diligent with my therapy and learn how to take care of myself. And it's only until recently that I learned I also need to know when to rest. You can't just be resting is also part of training. So I have to learn how to do that and be very mindful now that I'll be turning 24 next year and I'll be doing 10 years of this sport with a national team. So you really have to be mindful about what you're doing. So that's how I handle injuries and also eat the right food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your hardest obstacle and how did you overcome it?
My hardest obstacle. Well, last year I competed in the Asian Games, but a lot of people didn't know this, but I did tear my left knee, my PCL in my left knee.
Wow.
So yes, yeah, it was very difficult. I was crying day in, day out because I was getting frustrated. I couldn't train. But how I overcame it was one, I had to be very diligent with my therapy. And I honestly did a lot of meditation and praying, just having faith and believing in myself and my teammates and my coaches and what they're telling me. And just the support of everyone around me. I just had to think of that and use that. God bless you, and use that as a as a way for me to gain this confidence. And when I competed, I won the bronze medal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do in your free time to relax?
Well, to relax, I love to binge watch on Netflix. My guilty pleasures are just watching shows over and over again. And here and there, I like to read books. Guilty pleasures are definitely romantic, like books, girly stuff. I love watching chick flicks. What else? I love going to the beach. Just and the stuff that I like to do on the weekends are like active rest. So like swimming, jogging, running for fun, not with time with training. It's just for fun. Yeah, those girly stuff. Getting a spa.
Besides competing in Taekwondo, what are your other dreams?
My other dreams. So next year I'll be hopefully getting into film and action movies. So a dream and or aspiration of mine is actually to pursue that and hopefully it becomes successful. still
Yeah.
working on the acting career. Yeah.
Yeah. What
Mhm.
is one thing that you might surprise people about you?
I think it's that. I think not a lot of people know that I'm getting into acting, and hopefully I do well. So that might be a big surprise for everyone.
Where do you think you'll do your acting career, in the Philippines or the US or both?
So the plan is my 7 year plan is get a fan base here in the Philippines, and then slowly move in Southeast Asia and then Asia, and then hopefully if I have my manager has connections, then go back to LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. Next year it's gonna be a lot of filming, but for right now, just focusing on taekwondo
Yeah.
and until the Olympic year.
Yeah. If you could go back in time to give advice to your little kid self, what would it be?
Mm. Oh, if I could go back in time, I would honestly tell myself is do not be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to fail, mainly because those failures are the biggest lessons in your life. You can fix your mistakes in the future. So I remember growing up, I was so scared to fail. I was so scared not to go for something because I didn't want to be a disappointment. But really, those things are a learning, those things are experience to learn and to grow. So that's definitely something I would tell little Pauline.
What advice would you give to young athletes who look up to you?
Well, I would definitely tell them um, to keep going, keep your dreams alive, and live it. Never give up in training, despite the hardships. If you have a goal, go for it. There's no one that can tell you no. The only time that you fail is when you quit. So keep going, and yeah, that's definitely something I would tell them.
Yeah. What advice would you give to parents?
Oh, that's a good one. I love this question. I would tell them, please just be there for your kid. Be there not as a coach, but as a parent. Um, I mean, I grew up with it. I grew up with my dad being kind of like a coach, but looking back, I think I would tell parents to just be there, support them, no matter what they need in tournaments, just be there. Yeah.
What's one thing that you would hopefully be remembered for most?
In my sport,
Like anything.
I think I would be remembered. I think this is what how I see it is how resilient I am. No matter what the obstacles are, I usually overcome it, or I try to overcome it. No matter how hard it is, if I know for me, once I set my mind to it, there's no telling me no. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on StarCast, Pauline. And I really appreciate you making the time. And I know our listeners will enjoy hearing your story and advice. Thanks everybody for watching or listening. I'm Ethan Hardy, signing out with the StarCast. What's your hidden talent?
What is my hidden talent? I could sing, but I can't sing right now. I'm too shy.
What? Who is your favorite superhero?
Oh my gosh, please don't ask me that. There's so many. Okay, but
First
if
one
we
was
were talking, well, the first thing that came into my mind is Black Widow from the Marvel.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, from the Marvel comic universe, like hands down, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Which one do you prefer, the Flash or the Hulk?
The Flash. I watched The Flash.
Superman or Batman?
Superman. Come on now.
Which superpower would you rather have? Super speed, laser vision, or flight?
Super speed, because you can travel back in time.
Yeah. What's your favorite superpower just in general? Like what do you want to have?
I think I'd want to be able to read people's minds and like telekinesis and all of that crazy voodoo stuff.
Yeah. I would like to have a magical power so I could get any power I want.
Okay. All right. Very smart, Ethan. I like that one. It's like using one wish to add more wishes. I
Yeah.
get that. Okay. Sure.
Is there anything you miss about the US or like living here?
Well, one, of course, my family. I miss them all the time. My dog, oh gosh, I miss her.
What type of
The
dog do you have?
food. Sorry,
What type of dog?
Coco. Oh, well, my dog's name is Coco. She's like a half Shih Tzu, half Maltese. She just stays mini and small. She's so sweet. I love her. And what else? Oh, the food for sure. The weather, it's not that hot. It's not
Depends where you are.
tropical all the time. Yeah, it's like it gets a little cold over there in LA. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How are you gonna celebrate Thanksgiving?
Well, we do have training here.
Um,
But what I'm gonna do this weekend is celebrate Thanksgiving with my parents and my grandparents. Mainly because Thanksgiving is not really a holiday here, but for Phil Americans, we usually have something. But we don't have turkey. We have lechon. It's that big Filipino like dish, the big pig. Yeah, we have that here. I'm excited to eat because I've been dieting, but I'm excited to have like one cheat meal, just one. Yeah.
yeah.